So hey guys, today we're going to see why rotating proxies are the best way to overcome IP blocks. Before that, we're going to see a few things about uh, what are IP blocks and why do they happen. This is an example of an IP block. If you have a programmer who's done any amount of web crawling at all, you will see some equivalent of this. This is for eHelp. And this is pretty common in any large networks. Web crawling is almost a nightmare if you're doing freestyling, unless you're using mm, a professional setup, really, and architecture. So you're going to get into that very quickly now. IP blocks happen because of multiple reasons. Fundamentally, the web servers don't want anybody other than humans to browse them or download anything on them. That's typical of most web servers, right? In the sense, people who manage them. So they can tell, they're looking for tells which give away the fact that you are just a bot, right? And there are many small tells which most amateurs make to more advanced ones, and we'll see how the web servers can do that. For example, if you're making too many requests, it's just too many coming from one person, so they can easily tell that that's not even possible by it's not normal, so they can block you based on that. Your request was sequential. For example, I hope the spelling is right for that. Sequential is going from exactly one, you open the first link, then the second link, then the third link. There seems to be an exact order to it, which a bot would, like in the Matrix. So that's easily predictable. You are also doing it in predictable intervals. So you might have an algorithm which changes the order around a little bit, but if you're doing it every 3 milliseconds, that's so obvious in the logs, and there could be a simple algorithm which blocks you then. You didn't even set a user agent string. That's the user agent string. So that's like the worst. User agent string is a norm that every browser sends to the any web server, for example, Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer, by which they identify themselves, their version, their operating system, and many other smaller details like that. The reason for that was so that web servers have a chance to serve based on the environment the user is in. So this was necessary to be carried that way in the headers. But then now that can be used by a bot. By the bot has no need to do that, so they don't. If they don't, then it knows that it's not a browser at all. So that's the worst thing. Or you use an unfamiliar user agent string, like Mohan's bot or something. Then it's a dead giveaway. And or you use the same user agent string, even if you pretend to be Chrome, Firefox, you are pretending to be the same Chrome and same Firefox for a long time. So you're not rotating it. So one of the ways to overcome this is to actually rotate it, have a function which has, let's say, 100 user agent strings which are familiar, which are common, and keep rotating that and then scrape that content. Many web servers pass cookies and you don't pass them back and obey them, and that's very abnormal behavior. Not that they need it, but they notice that. And sometimes they just throw a captcha in every now and then randomly, and you're not able to solve it. That's a dead giveaway. All of this can be bunched into one problem, really, because even if you solve all of this, you seem to have the same IP address anyway. So if I can just block you there, it's over anyway, right? Even if you solve for all of these other ones, unless you find a way to change your IP address, um, it's sort of a moot point because it's so easy to track IP addresses. So that's why IP blocks happen for just one reason. Idea actually, which is you're using the same IP address, but actually there are many other smaller reasons as well. So it goes to show that if you just solve the final problem, you don't probably have to solve many of the other ones, except for example, user agent string, you still have to do it. Cookies, you still have to do. Captchas sort of disappear a little bit uh, because you can just request it from another IP. They can't possibly be showing captchas for every request. There is no web server which does that. Otherwise, nobody will come. Your request can be sequential, doesn't matter because it's coming from different IPs. You can make too many requests because you're coming from different IPs. And you can be very predictable as well because you're coming from different IPs. So a lot of these, the best way to solve is actually simply to rotate IP addresses. So we have a service for that, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. What does it do? A rotating IP address, you have to rotate from millions of IPs. It's not enough to have, let's say, 5 IPs because all those 5 can be blocked. It has to be high speed IPs, otherwise the web requests time out because, and ideally residential proxies, if you're using web servers have a different IP signature pattern to them. And you can tell, for example, any web server hosted on Amazon by the kind of IP addresses they give in a particular range. Every ISP gets that. And so any web server based data center IPs, we call them, are easy to block, you know. So residential IPs means people, actual people in residential neighborhoods are using it with consent, right? So and so it's completely anonymous because the way the proxy works, it forwards nothing back as to the original requester. And Proxies API, which is a service, further rotates user agent strings for you, so you don't have to do it at all. Solves captchas for you, not that we need too many times. This is probably the least used feature of ours, but we still keep it. Automatic retries, so even if an IP for some reason fails, we just automatically retry it without even noticing it and reply back very quickly. And custom headers support, handles cookies. There are many little tells like that which we've handled over the years, um, which is too many to describe here, which means that basically IP blocks are not a thing for you anymore. Using proxy is very simple. It's just one call, like this is a curl call, just one endpoint, call with your API key and call any URL in the world, and we'll be able to fetch it very quickly and give you back the data like this, and you can do whatever you want with it. And in fact, this API key you can get right now without even using a credit card in 2 minutes, and it'll give you 1,000 calls per month free. And you can just do this one line. Go get it now at proxiesapi.com. Come back and just do a curl call and give us a toughie. Give us something that's you've been more probably even IP blocked from, and give us that, and let's see if we can get it for you. All right, thank you guys.